Body language. Family members have been killed. Black Vendetta has been served, but the two top dogs haven't met. Until now. Before we break down this amazing scene, what anxiety, frustration, pain, agitation, and hostile events occurred that build up to strengthen in this scene? Friends, before we break it down, let me quickly provide you a short timeline. Years ago, John Shelby disrespected Vicente, who is the head of the Changretta family.
There has been a peace between the Peaky Blinders and the Changretta family for 2 years now. But you tell him from me that my son will walk with any woman in this city. Any woman he chooses.
Do excuse me. Carry on.
John not only offends Vicente, but also threatens his son, which greatly angers him.
It'd be hard for your son to walk anywhere with a bullet in each knee, wouldn't it?
Too much. You said too much, my friend.
Vicente begins boasting in public about how he will kill John, but John retaliates by brutally beating up the man's son called Angel Changretta. As a response for avenging his son, Vicente hired someone to shoot Tommy Shelby's wife in the chest and thus killing her. The Shelbys seek revenge now. They got orders to assassinate Vicente and his wife, but the Peaky brothers disobeyed these orders due to the fact that she used to be their teacher. Vicente went willingly because he knew that the rules of gang warfare would not allow him to live.
Blinder, I'll take your fucking eyes first!
Law 15 of the 48 Laws of Power states, crush your enemies totally. Which they didn't do. They should not have saved her life because that woman, who is now widowed,
You took my husband and my son.
seeks revenge and total destruction of the Shelby family. She does this by raising and letting her other son, called Luca Changretta, fight her battle. Luca entered Birmingham for the sole purpose of destroying the Shelby family and take on this vendetta for the death of his father.
And what's the purpose of your visits?
Pleasure.
Get the fucking house!
It's me.
Pleasure. We promised, Arthur.
There's also a new chef preparing food for the Shelby family reunion. Tommy, through careful observation and a little test he performs on him, finds out that the Italians have even infiltrated to the point they could be standing right next to his other family members. Here is the little test.
What have you done that's so wrong, guy?
Excuse me?
Sous chef, peeling potatoes.
It's an emergency.
Antonio. Yeah, £10. For the late notice.
Giving an assistant this much tip in those times, he should be up and jumping, but he didn't. So Tommy, after finding out the truth, brutally murders him.
Yeah, I'm worried about Antonio. How much do you pay, Antonio?
I forget.
Must be a lot. I just gave him £10. Didn't mean a fucking thing to him. He's an assassin. Plan needs to kill me tomorrow. I'll bring him here.
Antonio! Huh? shut!
Fuck Cola!
Did he fucking say?
He said fuck you!
Yeah!
Besides all of this, a strike is pending because the factory workers want a higher wage, which presents the perfect opportunity for Luca to enter Tommy's whereabouts. Which brings us to the body language analysis.
Mr. Shelby, this is Monsieur Paz from Paris.
Right off the get-go, observe his locked eye contact. Of course, also his high status walk. He walks very slowly, yet deliberate with affirmative action. The iconic masculine shoulder swing. He's got at least 5 of the 6 traits in check. His head is a little down. Tommy also walks like that. This gives the characters that extra bit of mysteriousness. He's got the other 5 traits in check, but nonetheless, I do not suggest walking like that.
From Paris.
Phenomenal eye contact here. Tommy notices that he is different.
I heard you had trouble. It's gonna be the same, mate.
3 things to be spotted here. Try to observe it yourself.
I heard you had trouble. It's gonna be the same, mate.
Luca breaks the eye contact first, lowers his head, adjusts his sleeves, and then takes on the fig leaf position. He puts his head down to adjust his sleeve, not necessarily as a submissive move. It could indicate a lack of interest in the other person. However, if this was a dismissive form of preening, he would do this when Tommy was talking. We'll see an example of this later on.
I heard you had trouble.
You can spot this cufflink adjustment in a lot of people who try to project a calm, cool, collected image. Particularly in famous people, they are trained to portray a certain image, but their anxiety or apprehension leaks out in these little disguised forms of arm crossing. What do I mean with it? It is an attempt to close the torso and the body, but instead of fully closing the arms, people play with a handbag, a bracelet, or watch, or a cufflink. Once again, the barrier is formed, which gives a secure feeling. Besides displaying with jewelry or other objects, it serves as a pacifier. So in essence, Luca Changretta is releasing some inner tension by doing all of this.
It's gonna be the same, mate.
Then, another barrier position is taking. We've covered this fig leaf or groin cover position before. Protecting his jewels, and this is the product of negative feelings, nervousness and unease. By covering up the crotch, the person feels secure and confident. Friends, confidence may be the product of this gesture, but it's definitely not the cause. We've also seen it here with Harvey.
It's gonna be the same, mate.
Right after this groin cover, he tilts his head up. These two behaviors contradict each other, although they are often seen together. He wants to portray power, dominance and confidence, but he is definitely feeling inner tension. This contradiction, we'll get later to that.
It's gonna be the same, mate.
You just came from Paris, eh?
Tommy stays pretty non-reactive and is trying to read him. Forget about the body language for a second, and let's quickly dive into verbal warfare. Watch what Changretta says.
I heard you had trouble. It's gonna be the same, mate.
And Tommy's response?
You just came from Paris, eh?
Tommy often does this, and it is something called a state-breaking question. As the name suggests, you break their state by bringing up something unrelated to what they say. This shows that you are the one who is in charge. Here are a few examples.
Talk to me about the guns.
Do you remember we used to jump in here and see who could swim across the
I'm here to
Boston?
talk business, Tommy.
I understand you know a man called Jimmy McCavan.
May I take a cigarette?
Harvey, this is becoming a habit. I've seen you more than my last 3 boyfriends.
Somehow that doesn't surprise me.
I don't want to just be your Michael Clayton. I want more.
I'm married.
Come on, Robert.
Look at you, huh? Tom Ford suit, $1,000 hairdo. What happened to the skirt-chasing degenerate I knew back at Harvard?
Oh, him? He's a named partner at a firm 10 times bigger than yours.
Bigger? Sounds like somebody's trying to compensate for 3 huge losses.
Or somebody's living in the past and too afraid to take me on in the present.
This verbal warfare is an intellectual battle. It's shifting and taking control of the conversational frame. I won't dive deeper now, but you have to learn how to respond, deal and dominate these things. If you want me to make a video about it, drop a comment below.